Make a video on what self-soothing versus emotional regulation looks like, what that looks like. I'll give you an example. So let's just say you and your partner had an argument, you're very upset on the inside, and when you get upset, you know that if you eat ice cream, that it'll calm you down. You know, if you put on your favorite comfort show, it'll, calm you down, and you'll just be able to like get through the fact that you and your partner are arguing. So you get your tub of ice cream, you put on your comfort show, and you watch it. That's self-soothing. Emotional regulation, which has several steps, and I'll do a series about it, would look a little different. It would start by, okay, I've had an argument or conflict with my partner. Instead of me going into behaviors that are soothing, like watching my comfort show or eating the tub of ice cream, one of the first things that I'm gonna do is just label the feeling that I'm experiencing. Because we think that any conflict with our partner results in the same feelings. And like, no, sometimes the feeling is embarrassment. Sometimes the feeling is shame. Sometimes the feeling is guilt. Sometimes the feeling is humiliation. Sometimes it's anger. Sometimes it's loneliness. One of the first steps to emotional regulation is just identifying what you're feeling. And most of us are not pausing inside of our experience with feelings long enough to just label them properly. One of the best places to start with emotional regulation is identifying your feelings and then labeling them. And most adults' feeling vocabulary is limited to the top 5 emotions that we saw in the movie Inside Out. And if all you're working with is 5 emotions, you're going to have an incredibly difficult time as an adult because we have nuanced experiences in life. And let's just say me and the love of my life just got finished having a conflict/argument, and I'm actually feeling lonely after it. Maybe the best thing for me isn't to dive into a show and a pint of ice cream to self-soothe. Maybe the best thing is for me to lean towards him and say, I know we just had an argument, but can I have a hug? That gets into some spaces of co-regulation, but I would be asking for the hug because I know that the feeling that's there that I'm trying to regulate is loneliness. But if I can't even identify the feeling that I'm trying to regulate, I won't be moving towards emotional regulation. I will be moving towards self-soothing. And short of it is self-soothing is always going to have an element of bypassing the identification or labeling of the feeling. If you don't know what you're feeling, likely are going to be, at least as an adult, unable to regulate it properly.